Okay, I'm going to start off where we finished up on my last video, where I kind of cleaned and prepped these a couple of different ways and then coated them with resin. So these are cured long enough, and I'm going to go back and put another layer of resin and see if we can't rectify what we didn't do right the first time. Alright, this is one that we didn't cornstarch, alcohol, nothing. We just poured the resin that had silicone on it, and there's obviously places where it didn't go. So this time I'm going to cornstarch and alcohol and then pour a second time. This is one from a long time ago I did, which is kind of the same thing, and I'm going to clean it with some alcohol and do the same thing, cornstarch, alcohol, and then pour another coat of resin that has silicone in it. This was the one that we cleaned, and the only thing wrong with it, it's got some pitting because I did not go back and pop the bubbles. So we're going to just leave it right like it is and just pour straight on top of it. Not going to do anything to it. Just going to pour another coat of resin on there. But I do see there's a couple of places here where it's a little thin. I don't know, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. And then this one again, we cleaned it with cornstarch and alcohol and poured the resin on it that did not have any of the silicone in it. And this one actually is the worst. This one, there's lots of areas where there no. It's actually comparable to the one that we didn't clean at all, but had resin in it, or silicone in the resin. So I've already got my stuff ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up real quick. And then I've got the cornstarch and I've got my alcohol. And this one we did that actually turned out okay. It's a little thin at one edge down here. I'm not going to do anything to it other than pour another layer of resin on it. So it didn't have anything wrong with it. It had one corner, I think, that didn't have enough stuff on it. I think that was because it wasn't level. I've kind of leveled it up some more. Hopefully that will help us. So, but before I even start stirring it, I'm going to add some of the blaster silicone to it, so it just gets incorporated in there pretty good. And that's probably more than what I need, but that's okay. I'm just going to squirt a little bit of this in here. I'm going to put just 2 squirts. This is all live and learn, folks. Live and learn. Alright, so I'm going to stir this in. And then when it kind of sits, and the bubbles should dissipate while it sits. It certainly doesn't hurt it. This has a really long work time too, actually, probably more than an hour, probably. Alright, so what I'm going to do is now let it sit. We'll stir that up a little bit before we do it. Okay, I went ahead and got a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to go ahead and do the cornstarch where I think it needs, which I'm going to rub them in. That one no, that one no. These two yes. And I think I'm going to do it on this one as well, where there's some little skinny spots. So, well, that was a whole lot of cornstarch. I didn't need that much. Okay, so I'm going over here again to my trash can, which is right here. I'm just going to rub it in on those spots. I'm going to do it to all 3, and then I'll come back with my alcohol, spray it off, and get it nice and clean. Number this one. Huh. This one. It really sticks in pretty good where the Alright, so put this right here. I'm going to wipe these off again. And then I've got, just make sure I got all the residue off. And see, what's funny is this cornstarch actually kind of got kind of funky in some of the spots. So maybe there was enough silicone left in it that it, you know, caused an issue. Alright, so I'm going to spray with my alcohol. I've got this here. I've got some cotton. Make sure that it's cleaned off, ready to go. And you can tell there was no, there's areas that absolutely had no silicone on it because it's got, paint has come off. Not enough to make a difference, obviously, but I'm going to do this one real quick. Let's do this one real quick, same thing. Give it a spray. Looking good. Okay. This one's okay. This one's okay. Everything's being. I did this one. Did I do this one? Yes, it was the first one I did. See? Well, forget what I'm doing. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Alright. Okay, so this originally was the one that we, in the last video, we did not clean with cornstarch or anything. Okay. But it did have silicone in the resin. Didn't stick. This one we cleaned just like everything else. No silicone in the resin, and it didn't stick. This one was cleaned. Silicone in the resin stuck just fine, but the pinholes are because I didn't come back and do it close enough. And this one was just fine too. So I'm just going to put a second coat on that one. Alright, so let's see what we got. We should be, I think I said this last time, able to tell right away if it's going to stick or not to these areas. And what I'm going to do is kind of look and see, put it there first, in the holes first. There's a lot of places on here where it didn't get, so. Because it's self-leveling, so it's going to, I'm just putting it in the holes first. Wherever there was none, that's where I'm putting it first. And hoping that it does what it's supposed to do. So, and this is in response to the one we did, the last video I did with prepping and getting, you know, resin on there. And I've started to come to the conclusion that I kind of like them better not resin, like with just using the Mod Podge or the triple thick or what have you, because it looks, it's like the texture is a big part of it, and the resin just takes that away. You don't have any, you lose your texture, if that makes any sense. And it may just be me, but I just kind of feel like you lose something with the resin, even though I like resin. Let's let this sit, and it should level. Okay, this one I'm just going to pour another. Of course, I'm in the way. I'm just going to let that sit a second and run. This one, do the same thing. I'm going to let it sit and run. And this one had lots of spaces. I'm going to pick this one up. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pick this one up. This one really had a lot of places where the silicone had risen to the top, and the resin did not sink. It didn't stick. So let's hope. And yes, I know I didn't put anything on the bottom because they're pretty much just experimental pieces, nothing crazy. If they come out, you know, good, they come out good. So I'm going to sit this back down. And it's beginning to look okay. Got a little bit of cornstarch. I got a little bit of cornstarch on my hand on there. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to spread it around a little bit. And this one is, like I said, this one's quite a bit older. I did it when I did this, did the skull, and it stuck pretty good at that time, and then, or I thought it did. Then when the video was over, I noticed that it really did not stick very well. So again, I use the Easy Cast, and I put Blaster in it. Of course, the Easy Cast, of course, is self-leveling, so I'll let that sit, and it should be. So far, so good. That one looks pretty good so far. Alright, so this is one that was kind of, if you can, I already poured it on there, but it looks like we're missing a spot here. Let's hit it again and see if it helps any. Alright, let's see. Alright, that one's good. Looks like we got it. Sometimes it's hard to see in this light what we're doing. Okay, this is the one that was okay. This is the one that was okay, except it had bubbles because I neglected my torching. So I went off and did something else and got sidetracked, because that's how I roll. I get sidetracked constantly. I might pour a little bit more on there once, but I'd spread pretty good. I'm gonna let it sit, level up. Oop, I'm gonna throw it on the floor. Normal sticky. No, it's right here. Alright. So let me see if it's missing. Got a few spots that need some more in there. Of course, you know this is going to be a mess. So we already got some bubbles. Okay. Alright, so that should level out. And I'm going to go ahead and just put the rest of this on here. Just going to let it roll. I'm going to do that with this one too. Let's put the rest of this. That was not what I was going to do. I was going to put some resin in molds. But it's alright. Alright, so it almost seems like the resin speeds up the setting time, maybe? I don't know. Kind of weird. Not the resin. Did I say resin? I meant silicone. Alright, let's see. Now I gotta remember which is the upside and which is the downside. It should be more level though this time. Alright, lovely. Alright, so that's it. Let's see. Let me get a... No, everything actually looks pretty good. So let me get out my torch. I got my torch real quick. I think I can turn this one around. Okay. Oh, I heard my dogs dump something over. Lovely. Alright, so now I'm gonna take my gloves off so I don't get goo all over my torch. Okay, everything looks good. It looked like, but that definitely fixed the problem where it did not adhere. I'm gonna put another pair of gloves on and pick them up, but it looks like And it did precisely what it was supposed to do. No, I'm not burning it. Now, I will come back and check this and not let it go, get bubbles in it again like I did earlier, yesterday. Okay. Alrighty. It looks like they all look good and smooth. I don't have any missing. It even worked on the one we didn't clean prior the first time. So all of these, all of them, look pretty good and smooth. Of course, I will turn it off and we will check on it later before I get it edited, ready to upload or what have you, make sure that it did not. But if you can, I don't know if you can see, but this one is missing no holes. There's no holes now. And that was the worst. That was one we did not clean prior to the first coat of resin. Obviously the one with the holes, pinholes, or the bubble holes, worked out real well too. And this one as well. It is filled in, and so all good. So this should end up really well. And this one that I did months ago, it did the same thing. It fixed it. So that's a good thing, because this was like my favorite colors. So anyway, all right. So that's that, and I will see what we need to do later on, and then hopefully this is enough. I may have to do a tutorial on sanding the back of your paintings, your resin. So anyway, take it easy. Bye. Okay, this is just a quick little ending to this. Everything looks like it covered and is stuck satisfactorily. There may be one that's got a little dip in where it's a little lower, but everything is completely covered with resin now. Everything is smooth, and I did take some pictures from the side, so I'm going to go ahead and put them at the end of this, and you can kind of see. But I think it was a success. Definitely, definitely have to do all three though. Clean with cornstarch, follow with alcohol, and put some silicone in your resin. And that's, if I do that again, if I resin them again, which I probably will, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do those three things to ensure that I get good, even coverage. But if I don't get even coverage, it does work to go back and clean those spots again, and then pour a second layer, because that did work out well. And I have no complaints now. These are still very sticky, but I have no complaints over how that they came out. So anyway, that's it. Until the next time. Bye.